Do you guys remember back in 2023 when Blumhouse Films announced that they were going to be getting into the video game industry? Well, just the other day, I got the opportunity to play through their latest release, Sleep Awake, a psychological horror game set in a dystopian city that stands as the only remaining pocket of humanity in a world where an event called the Hush causes people to vanish in their sleep. Taking on the role of Katya, we travel through the city filled with death cults also attempting to stay awake, falling deeper and deeper into a nightmare world where what's real and what's a dream depends entirely on your perspective. The game's not that long, running around 4 hours at a casual pace, and I gotta be honest, it's okay. The gameplay isn't really anything to write home about, the world exploration is pretty limited, and with serviceable stealth mechanics, but the world design is where the game really shines. I won't go too much into story spoilers, but in a way, this game reminds me a lot of Markiplier's Edge of Sleep series, with a similar concept where people are trying to stay awake as long as they can in order to avoid catastrophe. The biggest difference between the two stories, however, is time. Sleep Awake exists in a world where likely years have passed since people started disappearing. As such, different groups have developed different methods of trying to stay awake as long as possible. Some people, like our girl Katya, grow and mix a variety of different plants into hallucinogenic substances in order to keep themselves awake. Whereas groups like the Pain Eaters use the adrenaline boost from pain, and others like the Machinists use electricity. It's a really interesting world that I think simply suffers from being a smaller game, but it's clear that the team behind it has some really big ideas that I think could really shine in a larger, more fleshed out project. While not a perfect game, I think that it's a decent step for Blumhouse Games' continued foray into video games. Far too often, smaller, more artistically driven ideas never see the light of day because of how niche the idea is, or for no other reason other than the fact that the idea is smaller in scope and scale compared to other titles. With Sleep Awake being their second published game, their previous game, Fear the Spotlight, being received extremely well, future titles like Theater of Idols and Project C are what will really cement Blumhouse Games as either a champion of indie horror concepts or just another major label stepping into an arena that they're not familiar with. As a huge fan of horror games myself, I will forever champion weird and obscure ideas, because just like characters in a horror game, we never know what's right around the next corner. Like and follow for more, and check @FollowRotoshi on all other socials.